Hello everyone, it's Throwback Thursday, and boy do I have a story to tell you. And you know it's true, you just can't make this stuff up. Let me tell you, it was 1972. I was 18 years old. I was working as a communications dispatcher with the sheriff's office. Now keep in mind, at that moment in time, you had to be 21 in order to be a law enforcement officer. But I was out riding with the deputies one night. I still remember that night. It was my first arrest. Did you hear me? It was my very first arrest, and I had no authority to arrest anyone. So here's how it happened. Because I was riding with this deputy, he said, "Wear your communications uniform," which looked, by the way, exactly like a deputy uniform back in the day, except there was no gun belt. But as you may well expect, I had purchased a gun belt, so I had one, and I had a gun that my dad had bought me. So I put my gun belt on, had my gun, and I was riding with a deputy. Yep, that's right, I looked just like a real deputy. So we're working the night shift, and it's during the winter time, and one of the things that occurred back in the day was the criminals would go to wherever they were picking fruit, and there would be trailer loads of fruit. They would pull their truck underneath the back of the trailer, open the tailgate, fill up the tailgate, and leave. The other trick the criminals would do back in the day is go to where the trailers were in the orange grove and take the big tires off of them. So we were patrolling. This is off of the 80-foot road. There's two roads that go out into the orange grove named the J. Stinger and the L. Stinger roads. So we're riding out through this orange grove, way out in the middle of no place. I am totally lost because I'm a Lakeland boy, and they've got me out in Alturas someplace in the groves. So sure enough, we come down and see them stealing tires. And all of a sudden, when we drive up on them stealing tires, this group of criminals flee into the grove. The deputy tells me, "Stay here with the cars," as he runs off, and he tells me to call for backup. So I call for another car. Two more deputies show up. They run off into the orange groves in search of the criminals. We don't have canines back in the day. We didn't have an aircraft that was flying at night, so it was just them putting their life on the line, chasing criminals through the orange grove. Well, I was hanging out at the patrol car when I looked up, and there came one of the criminals back to the crime scene. So I pulled out my gun, I pointed it at him, put the handcuffs on him, locked him up in the patrol car. I'm cooling it. The deputies come back, they're sweating. It's a cool night because it's wintertime, but they're sweating and they're dirty, and we wore white shirts, and the shirt was just grizzly gray. And they said, "They got away, they got away." I'm standing there calm, cool, and collected with my white shirt that was still white. I'm not sweating. I've got a little jacket on. I said, "They didn't all get away. I arrested one. He's locked up in the back seat of the car." Yep, you got it. I was 18 years of age. I arrested the criminal when he came back to the scene. They go, "How do you know he was one of the criminals?" I said, "Well, I saw him when he jumped up from the back tire." They had to fill out the complaint affidavit and do the formal arrest. But I made my first arrest at 18.